Hello and welcome to the Auto Intuitive channel. My name is Isaac, and here in front of me I have the new 2024 BMW 530i, and this one's an xDrive. So this one has all-wheel drive. It has a 2-liter turbocharged 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet, which is leading in its segment. It does feel more power than that. It's new revised in the front. So you could see here, if you've seen the new X1, the 5 Series kind of looks like it, but they don't drive anything like the same. And the X3 coming out in 2025, the all-new X3 will have these type of lights as well, where it kind of matches the E60 type of headlights from the late 2000s on the 5 Series. This car is a lot bigger now. This car is about 100 and it's almost a 7 Series size. It's 195 inches plus. And so why go for a 7 Series when you could go for a 5 Series? Because this car is on spring suspension. Sorry, there's a car coming by. And this is the classic design. So this is not the M Sport package on this car. You could see by the silver around the windows, the satin silver. And it also comes with these standard wheels, the three, I believe it's called the tri-spoke 19-inch wheels. On the rear, you have LED lights, 2 strips, nice and simple, but it's still luxurious. I think I like the last BMW 5 Series tail lights better, but this is nice. And also you could see here at the bottom of the bumper, you have the X-line silver satin there, and there are no exhaust pipes showing. And there's a light right here. You see that? That's a white light that comes on when you put the car in reverse, like a Formula 1 car. But there are no exhaust pipes showing, so if this car was debadged, it would be difficult for you to know if it was an i4, an i5 fully electric, 40 xDrive, or an i5 M60. So, what else is going on? Look at this side skirt down here. This side skirt has a pattern on it. You see it? And then, if you're looking at the side skirt, you could see down here, there's a hole. That hole's where the light comes out of. The light for your magic carpet on the floor. So that pattern, every single BMW model now has a different kind of pattern. It's like model specific. And then we have a big grille here. One thing interesting about the grille, you can't see the camera. For the parking, it's slightly off to the right. It used to be directly in the middle, right on this thing. And they moved it slightly off to the right. I'm guessing that's because the Distronic for the car driving is now in here. And you can see the square. Can you see it the closer I get? There's a square there. Right here. Here. So that's for your Distronic. The Distronic is no longer down here, which I think probably helps the car act a lot better. And of course you have your the grille opens as well, and the grille is big, not as big as the 7 Series, but you get the point. And I love the hood design here. It's still a very muscular looking car, and you see how sharp it comes off at the top right there. So you have like the eagle bird eye, and it comes off right there at the top. Anyways, let's jump inside, but first let's jump in the back. One thing that's missing is comfort access was taken off on the rear doors. It's only in the front doors. Some cars still have comfort access on all doors, but as time goes on, after the pandemic, it looks like this chip shortage thing, the car companies got a lot smarter with saving money. But you can see here we have shades on the window, and that's because this car is the executive package. And you have your Harman Kardon down there as well for your music. Back here, the new thing is this did not exist in the 5 Series, so I like the light. There's an LED light. This has been in the SUVs where you could put a bracket in there and it holds a table, a hanger, or a screen. Because this car can produce Wi-Fi for the passengers. It has 5G capability. So you can add it to your cell phone plan, and it'll have its own phone number. And these seats are called Vaganza. And the Vaganza is so good. They're positioned differently because I feel, especially when I sit up front, this seat is all the way down. And in the previous 5 Series, I felt like I was sitting in a hole. Like I was sitting, the car was so big. But this car, I can still see everything. I don't understand what they did differently. I'm not sure if they lowered the dash or they adjusted the seat position. There you go. You have 2 USB-Cs down here, standard. And if you did go for, I believe, a certain package, you would get another climate zone in the back. I'm gonna jump in the front. One thing I noticed about this car is as I was driving it, it doesn't lean as much as the previous 530 did. The 530 previously had a much more 7 Series personality. This car has a more, the leaning has been turned down, but it's a lot more controlled as well. It's more sporty and it's more supple in how it does things. I would say that the jump from a 4 to a 5 Series was pretty huge, how they drove. Oh, there goes a plane. Oh, look at that. We have our 7 Series side mirrors as well. These are directly from the 7 Series. The design elements, they're not M-car side mirrors with a fin on them. All right. And we can see here our door panel looks just like the i5 M60 I showed you in the other video. And there's our Harman Kardon. You have the new design element. I do like this door release. Another thing from the previous cars is you don't have the button up there anymore that locks the car. So hopefully you don't run out of battery, because it has to be, if you pull this, of course it unlocks automatically, but there's no physical way to unlock the car manually. This is an electric lock and unlock. And you could see here on the door you have the seat with the 3 lines, and we've gone over the 3 lines, and you could see here as well the 3 lines. That's your exterior lighting. The 3 lines for the seat on the door, that is for your seat functions. So if I press that button, it brings it up on the screen. And then you have another one up here for your interior. You see it? There we are, for your interior lighting. So if I press that one, it brings that up on the screen. And then you have one down here for your driving settings. So these are the things that have changed in the 530, but change will come. And so this is what I was talking about. I feel like I'm sitting high in the car and I could see everything. And my seat is all the way down. I like to sit down and low and back. Steering wheel is coming from the 7 Series, and there's nothing wrong with that. I believe only the 5 Series and the 7 Series can handle this steering wheel. It's pretty huge. It's pretty like, but there is a point to it. It's so you could see through here at your information. Usually you won't be turning more than this while driving, of course. If you're turning more than this, you're probably looking outside the car. You're probably not looking at the instrument cluster directly in front of you. This isn't an M Sport steering wheel. The M Sport one is more chunky. And I didn't like the steering wheel at first, and then I took the car for a drive. And because the 48 volt system in this car with the generator makes the power steering so much smoother, you don't feel the engine helping it, meaning it's linear. Absolutely linear. So it reminds me of the iX in a good way, the steering wheel. And I do like that when I turn, the corner square, it like hooks on, your hand hooks onto it. So you can make U-turns pretty easily with one hand. Here's our cruise control. So this car does have, let's look at the window sticker. Here's our window sticker. So we have the executive package. And there's our Vaganza perforated right there. So the executive package gives you heated steering wheel, heated seat, remote engine start, sky lounge, glass controls. There are, I believe, 2 more packages we passed. This is the top package. What's interesting is if you go for the executive package, there's things in here that it says included that came from the executive package. So let me see if I can find one. ACC, stop and go. That comes from the executive package. That does not mean that this car has driver assistance professional, which is a whole other So ACC stop and go means that this car can, it has adaptive cruise, and it can follow the cars on the road, and also it'll maintain the distance, and also, yeah, it'll steer. It'll stay in its lane. So that it has ACC stop and go. In some cars, that is called assisted driving plus, not assisted driving professional. Here we have the park assistant plus. So it has the normal park assistant where it has the sensors, and of course you press the P with the cone. Oh, where are we here? Oh, now it's a P with a picture of a camera. Ah, they changed that slightly. And then we'll go here, and there we are. So it's already searching for a parking spot, and you have backup assistant. A park assistant professional has record paths. You can record paths. It's a level beyond. You can record maneuvers. But this will park itself parallel, perpendicular, and you still do have the 3D view. Ta-da! So you can look around me, see where I'm hiding. And yeah, that's usually really all you need. Unless if the car is much bigger, then I'd go, yeah, put a professional on this thing. One thing we went over, the vents. So if the light is on the one, it means it's open. If it's on the circle, it means it's closed. So this is the driver's side, that's the passenger side. And you have your defrosts right up front. So they keep leaving these out up front. It must be a safety rule in the car safety forums, whatever you want to call it. All right. Another thing. So you see we're in a red theme. That's because we're in sport. So I'll go to my modes. And we still do have in the 530, you have efficient, you have expressive. So expressive is opening the sunroof. The sunroof opens backwards like the 7 Series, from the back of the car towards the front. And then of course you have this expressive theme in here. And so let's go back to my modes. And then you also have relax, which will close everything, including the rear shade all the way at the most. That rear shade on the back window, the button is right here. Okay. In the 7 Series, you have a button for the rear window, but you also have it for the side windows. On the side windows in a 5 Series, you have to actually be sitting in the back to control it. Back to the my modes. So when I was in sport, the car sounds like a tuned hatchback, and it's not in a bad way. It's a synthetic noise coming through the speakers, and it sounds nice, and it's not so grunty. It's a nice howl going on from the 4-cylinder, and to me the car feels a lot faster than 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet. It scoots. What else should I show you in this car for now? What kind of questions do you guys have? So yep, it does have the Park Assistance Plus that came from the executive package, and you have an interior camera as well in the 5 Series for the first time. Interior camera, which is right there. Can you see it? It's right here. So you can watch people from your phone. If someone steals your car, you could see, or you could set a feature where if you smile, it takes a picture automatically of the family. But I'm gonna jump back out because this video's been more than 10 minutes. So, would you take this over Mercedes E-Class E350? Much more standard features. Remote engine start comes with it, and or an Audi A6, which I don't think has remote engine start. But usually BMWs beat in performance, cargo, miles per gallon, and what else? Luxury? Well, today, yeah. Today BMW's been number one for quite a while, for about 2.5, I'd say 3 years. But what do you guys think about the new 5 Series? Comment, ask me some questions, let me know what you think. I think it's awesome, and I just think it's so much more sporty. They did the same thing they did to the 2 Series. 2 Series was a little jarring, but there's a midpoint that's a sweet point where it's still sporty and luxurious, and you could take it on a road trip. Thank you for watching. Ciao.